right, this is Dustin Sherman or Sherman Tank here with Do Stuff, and this is going to be the first show that we have started on Sunday nights. It's going to be called Stand Your Ground. What's going on, Ryan? We're doing okay. Let me make sure that we are live on Facebook and that we're streaming like we're supposed to be. It's according to everything, it looks like we probably are. So I'm just going to make double sure. If you go to your Facebook page on your phone, or go to my Facebook page on my phone, and follow the video on there, just make sure you turn down the sound. Let's see here. 1 second, folks, and we'll get right into the show. So if you click on the play button and then turn down your volume, you should be able to follow the comments as they come through live. Yeah, you got it? All right. Can't hear Do Stuff. Really? That's kind of, hold on a second here. We're going to go ahead and turn you up here. That's weird. I'm wondering if it's because it's your headset. Hold on a second. Okay, so what we're going to do, we'll turn up the NDI source. Hold on.
Okay.
All right, say something and let us know if you can hear Ryan now.
Check, check, check. 1, 2, 1, 2, check.
Folks, let us know out there if you can hear Ryan now. We just turned him up. What's going on, Petey? Give us someone say yes, we can hear Ryan, or no. Go ahead, Ryan.
Check, check. 1, 2, check, check. 1, 2. We'll see.
Can you guys hear Do Stuff?
Someone says sound is good. We can hear them. Okay, right. So we're good now. Something happened.
Well, your headset kind of cut down. I don't know, when you plugged it in or something, it affected the range, and I had to turn you up a little bit. No big deal.
Okay.
That's why tonight's
sound is good. Sound is good. Loud and clear. Yeah.
All right. Good deal.
Everybody can hear us.
Yeehaw! We're ready to go.
We made it.
All right.
We're live.
All right. So we're starting this show, and I'm actually trying to get some other video folks on here doing stuff too. I think what we need to do is we need to start. So you got the 3% groups, you got the patriotic groups, you got the people that go out and do all the rallies and everything else. I think what we're going to have to start doing is we're going to have to start putting together a collaboration of different video, I don't know, bloggers or whatever you want to call them, and get them under kind of one banner and show them kind of the platform like I'm doing right now. This is actually really cool because it goes to more than one platform. It goes to Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope, and there's actually more things available. I just don't have accounts on some of the other platforms yet. So this is a really versatile program. You can have guests on by calling through Skype. You can have up to 4 people, and it runs through an NDI source. So everything that comes on Skype comes right into this and goes out to another program called Restream. And it's all free. That's the best part about this, is it's all free. It all comes out pretty good. I've been watching my videos. There's endless different things that you can do with it. As you guys can see, I have an intro I never had before. Thanks to David Johnson or Fire. I mean, some of the stuff that's available to do now is unbelievable. So let's get into. It looks like we got about 23 or 24 people watching.
Well, that's good.
Which is really good. That's just on Facebook. I haven't been able to see what I got on Periscope or anything else. But yeah.
Let's get into why we're here.
Yeah. Let's do this the whole thing, because I've been posting. Everybody's been noticing I've been posting and having other people post hashtag Stand Your Ground. and
Stand your
and
ground.
that
Yeah, go
and
ahead.
that whole phrase means more than just stand your ground on guns. It means stand your ground on everything. Stand your ground on anything that you disagree that the government is doing. And the whole idea behind it is to get you off the couch, out into the open, out into the public. Um,
Give you a voice.
exactly. Make sure that you have a voice because, everybody knows that Facebook, YouTube, all these leftist social media sites are trying to shut us down. So that's one of the ways that we can fight back. And the way that it happens is if you have the same phrase, hashtag same phrase, whatever it is, stand your ground, one united voice. If that's used over and over again, and it creates a little bit of a buzz, then eventually it'll hit trending, and then people start to take notice with that. It's kind of like the leave the Democrat Party thing. You know what I'm talking about?
Walk away
program. And there you go. That's how that program or that whole thing even became a big deal, was because of the hashtag walk away. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to generate some buzz. We're trying to generate some Americans getting up, standing up for their rights, because every chance we get, they're yanking stuff out from under you.
You give them an inch, they'll take a mile.
Yeah.
So I mean, basically, everybody's got to we got to stand together. We got to put our foot down. We got to say enough is enough. We can't keep nickeling, diming our rights away. There's got to be a point where you just say we're not going to do it anymore, regardless of what the consequences are, regardless of what the outcome is. There's got to be a point where our forefathers at this point, they would have been shooting a long time ago.
And that.
So I think. Go ahead.
I was going to say, and I think that this whole idea behind stand your ground, I think it goes beyond Republican, Democrat, conservative, liberal. It goes way beyond that. Okay. Yeah. So, I want everyone that watches this, whether you're Democrat, liberal, Republican, conservative, whatever it is, libertarian, this entails everyone. This is something that,
it does.
The government, the elites, and I'm not talking one side or the other, they're all involved in this. And once they hit that certain level, then basically crimes and laws don't apply to them.
Don't affect.
It doesn't apply to them. I mean, even Hollywood. I mean, you're seeing stuff like the college scandal, right? So a chick, 14 days.
What did she get? 14 days.
14 fucking days in prison. I mean, that's like a vacation for these people, right? She's going to drop out of sight for 14 days. It's probably not going to be a felony, so to speak. It's probably just, slap on the wrist. Here you go. You were stupid. Here, go take a timeout, and you'll come back out, and nothing will happen.
Exactly.
I mean, it really goes to show you that if you have money, you can buy your way out of everything. And I think a long time ago, I think we feared that it was going to happen, and sure as shit, we're seeing it happen right now, right in front of our eyes.
Yeah. It's it's been happening for years, especially in Hollywood. Doesn't matter who they are, as long as look at what Jesse, what was that guy's name? The black guy,
Jesse Smollett.
Smollett. Yeah, he was barely known, and he faked an entire assault. Made a false report. Blah blah blah. I don't know how he did it, but he got everything thrown out. Now they're going after him federally. But he's contending that it was the cops' fault because they investigated it. And my response to that was, then what the hell did you call the cops for? That's exactly why you called them, to investigate it. So he didn't. I don't think he did any time in jail. They want to give him a fine, but if that was you or me or anybody else out there watching, we would have got years in jail for something like that.
Yeah, that's an understatement. I mean, you think about all the stuff that's been going on. I mean, really, a lot of this stuff has really come to light since Trump got into the White House, and some of it's Trump's doing, some of it's not Trump's doing. I mean, right now the Democrats. I mean, you don't even have to do anything. You just have to let them speak, and it shows you how stupid they get. I mean, you know, it's gotten pretty damn crazy. I mean, you can't go in anywhere wearing any kind of gear that has his name on it, or you get, you know, I don't know, you get all kinds of grief, and you get people that are doing stupid shit and everything else. And
I haven't had any bad repercussions from wearing his stuff yet.
Well, I mean, you see it every day, though. I mean,
I see it.
I mean, there was a friend of mine that was down in, I think it was Arizona at a baseball game. Right now, granted, they unfurled a flag in a stadium, and this, of course, the stadium guards came and were trying to get them out of there. And one of the guards actually pulled a knife, and I think it was intention. It was to cut the rope off the girl's arm. But he's sitting there brandishing a knife, and at one point, she's wearing shorts. At one point, the blade was touching her bare leg. I mean, that's how crazy stuff has gotten. And you know as well as I do, you can't go into a stadium with a knife, but yet their employees are allowed to carry knives like that. And this is a pocket knife. This was a pocket knife. It wasn't like a, razor blade knife or something like that to cut something down. This was a guy's personal pocket knife.
Well, I mean, yeah, and I see the hypocrisy in it, but did she die?
No, yeah. But I mean, it's all on. No, I get it, but it's all on.
No, I get.
It's all on video,
it's.
I
get what you're saying.
Oh,
they just had another guy, some NFL owner, did the same thing. Jesse Smollett did, but he destroyed both of his businesses.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And then he rode all over the place. The N-word, MAGA, all kinds of stuff, and then they caught him. And I'm sure he's probably not going to even get probation.
That equates to basically filing a false crime. And if me or you were to do that, we would spend time in jail. It may not be. It may not be serious time, but you're wasting the resources of the public and money, because now you're paying cops to go in there and investigate. So it does end up becoming a thing, and hopefully he ends up getting to serve some jail time and a fine. But
I'm confused on why these crimes, just because they're committed by a black person.
That's black privilege, brother.
And well, no. But I don't understand why they are never charged as a hate crime. They are literally using the political climate and the race hate in their crime.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It may be against their own people, but they're pushing an objective.
Right.
So I don't understand why they wouldn't get like double hate crime. You know what I'm saying? They just refuse to charge them with hate crimes. I don't understand that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's your guess is as good as mine on that. I couldn't tell you. I mean, it's
whatever.
It's. I mean, it's become a political thing all the way around the board. I mean, if we continue to allow them to separate us into different social structures and everything else, then we're going to continue to see this kind of crap. And as stupid as it is, we continue to let them do it. And that's part of the whole stand your ground message. We can't keep doing that, because it's going to end up tearing the country apart. And I mean, I don't know about you, but the country is not really in great shape right now. I mean, and
no.
Let me ask you this: what do you think about Trump inviting the Taliban to Camp David? And I'm asking you this because I've had some flack on my page over this. I'm just kind of wanting your opinion on the deal.
Well, as far as just he invited some Taliban there, I think, he secretly did it from what I understand. And then they did something, and
then he bombed them.
He turned it around. Yeah, he bombed them. I think he was trying to kind of do like with what he's doing with North Korea. He's trying to put an end, to the war. The service guys that they keep sending over there.
Right.
I mean, we can only speculate, correct? But that's what I think he was doing, was trying to get our soldiers out of there and use it as a campaign, thing, and say, hey, look, I ended it. I got our soldiers out of there. We're done with Iraq, Afghanistan. I think that's what his goal was.
Right.
Um, I don't think there was any, crazy malice involved. I don't think he was, trying to, team up with them and go take over the goat farm. So I think we're okay.
Well, and the crazy thing is now we got what is it? The Iran has bombed at least they're saying that they did.
Yeah,
the
the
oil
oil
thing over in Saudi Arabia. So don't expect your gas prices to stay cheap if they are, because anytime that an oil field gets hit, it's an excuse to raise the oil prices and bring up gas prices.
From what I understand is we ramped up our production for oil here.
Well, we have, but at the same time, now it's a very minor amount, but we still get 5% of oil from Saudi Arabia, and I think that's part of the trade deals that America's had with them forever. So Saudi Arabia is rich with oil. That's where their money's at. I mean, it just is.
Yep.
So, I mean, if it's part of a trade deal and we want them as an ally, even though they've done some really bad shit, keep in mind that they are very rich, and if we need them to back us in a war, they've done it. But I just don't know. It's kind of the keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer kind of thing, I think.
Yeah, possibly. I think if we really wanted their oil and their resources, we'd just take it. What happened?
Don't worry, I'm back.
Yeah, I think if we really wanted their oil and resources, we'd just take it. That's the way I see it. But who knows? Who cares? So I wanted to just kind of go over a little bit about the stand your ground. What's going on with, so now Boker, what's it? Cory Booker? Is that the guy? Booger? I don't give a crap what his name is.
Uncle Fester.
But so now he's backing what Beto's saying. They're coming for our guns.
Coming for your gun.
Coming for the guns. They're coming for your AR-15s. And that I think is kind of my big issue, because they've been nickel and diming us on gun laws, and now that they've kind of just flat out said it. So we've been kind of dancing around on what we've been saying. We as far as patriots, we keep saying, well, you better not mess with us. You better not mess with us. We better just might as well come out and say exactly what we've been thinking, because if they think they're coming for our guns, I think everybody knows what's going to happen.
Well, there needs to be a statement, and you got to be very careful with, especially in today's in today's environment, because if you basically come out and say something like, "You come and try and get my guns, I'm going to shoot you," you're going to end up being in jail or in an insane asylum or whatever they deem necessary.
But I think what we can say is, who is willing to die for their Second Amendment? You see, so we're not really saying anybody but ourselves, but and we don't necessarily, that's not the way it would happen, because we're patriots, but we need as many people that will back our Second Amendment and what's going on right now. This needs to be a unified front. These Democrats and everybody else, they are literally they're not stopping. Just when you think it can't get any stupider, it comes out of their mouth. And you literally, most of us are just like, really, but that's what their goal is. It may be Beto and it may be Booker, but the fact is they are coming for your gun.
And it's not a hidden agenda anymore. I mean,
it's not. Every time they say something, it's funny, because we we jump on it and we say, what you really mean is this. And they say, no, 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 no. But then it gets down the line and then they just flat out this, yep, that's exactly what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
It's because it's kind of like they're trying to kind of slowly put their agenda out there and say, we're kind of going this route, we're doing this, it's not quite like that. And then they go, okay, you caught me. That's exactly what we're doing.
Well, you can look at it this way. At least they're finally telling the truth.
Well, that's fine. That's why I'm saying we as patriots need to tell the truth.
Yep.
We need to. I don't care if you don't want to verbally say it, then whatever. But the truth needs to be, you guys are tyrants. You're violating our constitutional rights. You're doing everything against the Constitution. And tyrants, I'm pretty sure they die.
They used to hang them. Yeah, they used to hang tyrants.
Yeah, we used to hang them on the front lawn of the White House. I'm just saying, we can't be, and we need to let them understand if it's a war that's what you're looking for, well, then we're standing here idly by, waiting for your move. We cannot keep saying, okay, or just pretend it's not happening, because it is happening. You turn on the news, it's happening.
Right.
Every meme out there is about what Beto said, and it's everywhere.
The scary thing is now they've actually got a little bit of support with it, with a lot of these other gun stores and not gun stores, but like Walmart, Fred Meyer, Kroger's, all these other places that have signed on basically don't want you to carry open carry.
Yes.
You can still carry concealed, and many of those they don't want you to, but they can't really prevent you from doing that.
Well, if you look, that's kind of like how they treated our gun laws. They just a little bit here, a little bit there. So let's just say we're going to take their guns. Now let's get these stores to back us. And then, oh, wait, let's limit ammo. Let's do this. You see what I'm saying? It's not a lot, but it just keeps adding up. That's how we ended up with 22,000 gun laws on the books. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Now we need to make a unified front as the people and say, no, we're not budging. Matter of fact, we're going to back it up, and we're going to get rid of a bunch of them, or else. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well,
that's exactly where we need to be.
That's part of standing up, and then I think, unfortunately, in today's day and age, the way that people stand up has to be online, because nobody's going to get out of the house and go down to Washington.
Sure, they will. Sure, they will. I believe if we put together a unified front, and we needed every patriot to show up somewhere, I know it'd be hard, but look at how quick Area 51 got together, and that was what, 2 million people?
Yeah, but that was also exactly what I just said. It's online, and nobody knows how many people are going to show up for that, if they even show up at all. I mean, there may be 1,000 people show up for it. Maybe 500, maybe one lone guy. Who knows? But, the guy that even came up with that basically come out and said, no, he got scared shitless. He thought the feds were going to arrest him and everything else.
Yeah, I know. I've watched.
He's walked it all back. He's like, no, it was a joke. Yada, yada, yada. I was sitting down in my parents' basement and, started spouting off a bunch of crap. And here we go. We got 10,000 people. Oh, shit. Now we got 8 million people saying they're going to
go. Yep.
So, I think, but here's the important thing about what happened with that was that the nation took notice of it, and the thing that Stand Your Ground can do is it can make the nation take notice. And
yes,
the thing is if you look at how many people voted in the presidential election, okay, so Trump won the election with 63 million votes. Okay,
yeah,
there's over, what is it now? How many billion people are in the United States? I mean, we're not even scratching the surface of how many people are actually in the country, that don't vote. And you know what I mean? So they didn't even get, they get like 20% of the Americans to vote in the election last year, something like that. I mean, it's very, very minor compared to the amount of people that are actually in the country. But I guarantee you that with the amount of people that signed on to that thing, more people knew about it than whatever signed on to it. But I mean, it was in the friggin' news. I mean, it was a thing, and that's what we're going to have to make and stand your ground. And by trying to get other people involved in it, trying to get other video bloggers and whatnot involved with it, that's the only way that we're going to get the notice that we absolutely need to build the momentum to make it work. Whether it's a physical, whether it's an actual physical event, or whether it's just a bunch of us saying, you know what, fuck this, we're gonna say something online, and we're gonna make other people notice.
Mm-hmm.
No,
definitely.
I can tell you right now, dude, there's no way I could afford to fly down to Washington D.C. We make okay money, and we're able to buy a house, which I couldn't do in California. But there's no way I can afford to pay $1,000 to fly from here to D.C. and back. So that's, unless we had one hell of a lot of sponsors in the country.
Well, you never know. I guess you maybe we'll end up with sponsors later.
I'm not saying that it can't happen. I'm just saying that a physical confrontation would be, or getting enough people to make a difference. We've all been to rallies. You've seen the rallies in California, and that's one of the worst states in the country for the crap that we keep seeing. And you can't get more than 100 people to show up. And in some cases,
and there's 40 plus million in this state.
Exactly. And you can't get more than 100 people to show up at an event.
Well, I think if the event was being held more towards Southern California, Orange County, San Diego, I'm sure you could get a lot more people, because they're further down south. They're more conservative, and I don't think that they're willing to take the 6 to 8 hour car ride up to Sacramento.
Yeah, but what is it to fly to Sacramento? There's enough people in Sacramento that could give people rides from the airport. Come on, it's an excuse. The drive and all this other stuff's an excuse. But, the events and stuff that I was involved in, I was able to get guys to come up from San Diego. But the thing is it needs to happen in a place where the lawmakers are going to have to take notice. And I'll give you a prime example of it, and that was with the vaccination rally. A Trump thing. It wasn't nothing like that. It was basically moms and dads and concerned citizens basically standing up saying, we don't want you to force us to vaccinate our kids. There was people that chained themselves to the doors. They blocked the entrances to all the things, and they actually ended up. I think that if I remember right, the lawmakers actually didn't even go in. They were scared they were going to get locked in or something, so they didn't even go in. They canceled their deal that day, which was part of the point. That's the kind of stuff that we got to have happen. If you're going to have an event, you're going to have to make it to where it's going to be impactful. And where else in California are you going to make it be impactful other than the Capitol?
That's true.
If you hold it in Bakersfield, what good does that do? Or if you hold it in LA, what good is that going to do? Unless you hold it in a stadium, then you might get some recognition. But
maybe we should hold a big Patriot rally in Hollywood.
That might catch some attention. But at the same time, you're going to be severely outnumbered when you go there. So expect a physical confrontation.
Or how about Beverly Hills? How about that?
Right at the Hollywood. Do it at the Hollywood sign.
Yeah, the Hollywood. Well, it's kind of out there and up on the hill.
Well, there's places that you could hold one, but again, it needs to be. Stand your ground is something that I think it needs to be in their face. It needs to be. It doesn't need to be a physical confrontation, but it needs to be in their face, and we need to have people that are going and standing up and speaking out that do two things. For one, they have an intelligent argument, so that we don't look like we're a bunch of crazy nut job gun nuts that are out running around ready to shoot up the country.
Sure.
And two, it needs to be someone that can think on their feet, because anytime you get into an argument, anytime you get into a debate, you're going to have to think on your feet. Look at what was it, Ted Cruz and Alyssa Milano, right?
Yeah.
She couldn't even debate him on her own. She had to bring 2 other people with her.
Yeah. Well, no shit. She sees a psychiatrist.
And owns guns.
Yeah, and well, we should red flag her.
You know what? To be honest with you, dude, I think that's we need to start using their game plans against them. This whole red flag thing. So, Democrats have kids, right?
Sure.
I would assume that they do because there's a shit ton of them running around. But if you start thinking someone's dangerous, red flag them. If they're going to do this to us, let's turn the game back on them. Someone's kids doing something that they shouldn't do, or someone doing, acting like an ass in a grocery store. Red flag them.
Exactly.
We don't know what the hell they have, and neither do the cops. Show up and get CPS to start revoking their kids.
Yeah, but I think we're a little bit. I don't know. I mean, I see myself as a little bit older than playing their game, but I mean, no, I get what you're saying because I mean, it's just they just keep pushing their agenda and pushing it, but there's got to be an end to it. There has to be.
I don't think there's going to be an end. I think the end game is going to be war.
Well, I think a lot of people out there are literally waiting for this. That's exactly what they're waiting for.
Oh, I know that. I know that that's exactly what it is.
I mean, how many Patriots that stockpile and got plate carriers? That stuff isn't used for going shopping. So, I mean, I think they're waiting, and they're just kind of like, at the same time, it kind of sucks for every Patriot because you got to be law-abiding or you lose your Second Amendment rights. But, I mean, like I've been saying this for a long time. I'm like, it's probably better for you to get your guns for the exact same way a criminal would and them not know what you have nowadays because they don't bother going after the criminals anymore and they know the criminals have guns.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But they will put every goddamn law and everything in the way of you owning, possessing, going shooting, buying ammo, whatever. And it's almost ridiculous now. The ammo laws that they just put in California, you need to do a background check for your ammo. And the scary thing is on that is because if you are buying, let's just say you built an AR-15 80%er, and you have an AR-15, but you also have some handguns. But your handguns you bought.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you go to the store, you do the background check, and you buy the ammo for a 5.56. Well, they look back on the guns that you own that are registered with the state, and they go, oh, he only has handguns, but he's buying 223 ammo. That is enough red flag right there to get a warrant, come to your house, raid your house, looking for an AR-15.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that's the whole purpose of the ammo ban.
Well, I mean, it doesn't do any good here because, I mean, most of the people, they just go somewhere else or they load their own or literally there's a million different ways to get ammo,
Well, yeah, you can reload it. You can do all kinds of different things. But, most of the people that I know, unless they're buying everything with cash, there is going to be a paper trail. So
sure.
I'll give you an example. Okay, so if I want to go down and I want to buy powder for my AR-15, and I'm reloading a bunch of bullets, the chances are you're not going to be walking around with $300-400 in cash to go do this stuff. You're probably gonna pay for it with your debit card and whatever. They track your bank statements. Now they know that you got explosive powder, primers, bullets, whatever it is, and your statement's your bank statement's not gonna say what it is, but they can turn around and they can match up the sale to the store because I'm sure that the store's gonna have to turn in receipts and statements on what they sold. So it ends up being a thing where the Big Brother's involved a little too heavily again, and we've allowed the people of this country have allowed to let it happen, and we're not educating the young folks on exactly what's being taken away from them. We know what it was like in the country 20 years ago. The 18-year-olds now don't understand that.
No, they have no idea. They have no idea. what I'm hoping is, because California is so far gone, that our message reaches the other states, where what you're hearing us discuss is it's all coming to your state next. I can promise you that. I can guarantee it. Unless we're talking about Texas, maybe not. Maybe a couple of the other states.
I don't know. I mean,
by
Texas already had a guy that got nailed for a bump stock. I don't know if you've seen that or not. There's
Oh
a
yeah,
guy
yeah,
in Texas
yeah.
that got nailed for that.
Yeah, he was the first and only guy so far.
So far.
Yeah, I seen that.
But the funny thing is
so
that
far.
there hasn't been any of them turned in, and there was what 10,000 of them sold or some crap, 100,000 of them sold.
No. I think it was 500,000. That's what I
And
think
yet
the number
none
was.
of them have been turned in.
No, they were all lost on that boat trip.
They were all on that yacht that got sunk, I guess.
Exactly. There was a boat and it went down with all of them. It was sad.
You know, the thing that I keep getting a kick out of is the fact that whenever we have a mass shooting, right? So I don't know if anyone understands. So Obama basically, when he was still in there, he changed the definition of a mass shooting. It used to be a mass shooting was anything over 10 people. And Obama scaled it back. No, Obama scaled it back to anything over 4 people. So, you know, these mass shootings have all started popping up. And, you know, you might get 2 or 3, 4 people, 5 people shot. And now it's getting classified as a as a mass shooting when it never used to be. So that's...
Well, what's funny is they don't bring up the mass shootings that are happening in Chicago.
Never. Of course they never bring it
up.
You
could have 27 killed in one day on one block, and they don't even put it out.
I'm not sure that Chicago even has a police force anymore.
No, I think they gave up.
It's either that or they're helping.
Yeah, I think they might be helping because there's just you never hear about anything with Chicago. But I see them on Facebook. People post them and they say, you know, this weekend there was 62 shots.
Exactly. There was 53 shot at a birthday party, but it's not a mass shooting.
Yeah. This isn't a mass shooting because it's ran by Democrats. So,
it's a routine thing.
It's
a routine thing. It happens in big cities.
Yes.
But if it happens in Austin, Texas, it's going to be public news for the next week, unless the shooter's a Democrat. Then you'll never hear about it.
Yeah, exactly. Then you never hear about it. You'll never hear about it. Exactly.
And
so we need. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say. So these are why we all need to start rallying together on a big front. We need as many people to back this as possible. It gives us an idea of how many people are out there willing to defend the Constitution, because I mean, believe it or not, there's a lot of people out there that won't nowadays. So we need to start focusing more on the bigger issue, which is the actual Constitution itself, and defending that. And just kind of if you just kind of focus on that, it takes you away from kind of everything else, all the littler stuff that they're trying to, poke in there. It's just if we all get together and just say, hey, we're following the Constitution and we're going to back the Constitution, and you guys are tyrants, I think we'll get a lot further because, I think a lot of people are dealing with what they're with the gun laws that are being passed in every single state. But I think if we just all put our feet down and say no, I think we got a better chance.
Well, and I think that we can't make it about one thing specifically. I think in the Constitution, yes, but they've skewed so many different laws. I mean, the vaccination thing. I mean, there's so many. Yeah, free speech. I mean, search and seizure. There's so many different things that they're completely going against and railing against, and they don't care. They don't care about you. I mean, they've basically, without coming out and saying it on a a TV show somewhere, the American people are the American people are the enemy, and there's been a document that was out, and again, I said it the other day. I don't know if it's been proven that it was actually written or if it was Photoshop or what, but they look at us like we're we're worker bees, you know, or we're worker ants, or whatever you want to say.
Sure.
You know, they expect us to roll over and take it up the ass every chance that they have, and we have to find a way to stand up. We're a lot more, we're a lot stronger together than we'll ever be apart. And you know, I mean, you can get half the country to agree on certain things, but then you
Sure.
start getting segments of the group that I don't know. You know, it just I've witnessed a lot of stuff in the last 2-3 weeks that, you know, people that I called brother, people that I called sister, that have taken sides for one reason or another, and it's heartbreaking to see these people that you got along with for so long just completely just throw everything out the damn window and go their own way. And we have to find a way to pull it together and start working together, or they're going to continue to keep doing this. They know that they know how to push our buttons. We need to learn how to push theirs back. If we
yeah. I mean, well, how I was kind of wondering how far does the Ninth Circuit Court cover? What states does that cover?
Let's see. I'm trying to remember. I used to know them all.
I know it's Arizona, Nevada, Washington, Oregon. Does it go beyond
Hawaii,
Hawaii,
Alaska.
So, well, what I'm getting at is any of those states within that demographic of the Ninth Circuit Court. Got to remember, the Ninth Circuit Court will back pretty much anything California does, and then if those states fall under the Ninth Circuit Court, they can enforce those laws, saying that they're backed by the Ninth Circuit Court until
until it goes to the Supreme
Court gets a hold.
Well, until it goes to the Supreme Court, and
so if you're within that area and your guys' gun rights are safe now, keep in mind they won't be for long.
I think
because I mean,
I think Trump is they're estimating that Trump will have the Ninth Circuit Court switched over to conservative by 2020. He's switched out a few of the judges in the Ninth Circuit already, and it's looking like that court may be switching to conservative side or Republican side. I have to say conservative because they're not supposed to have any party preference, but it looks like they're going to have more conservative judges in there by 2020 than they've ever had, and it'll end up leaning more conservative than liberal. So, you know, that's a good thing, but there's a lot of shit. The thing is with the Ninth Circuit Court is 90% of the stuff that goes in front of them gets reversed by the Supreme Court because they lean so heavily liberal.
Yeah, well, Trump just did that new regulations on immigration. Instantly, a Ninth Circuit Court judge signed it and said, no, that you can't do that. But then I think 2 days later, SCOTUS got a hold of it and flipped it and said, oh, yeah, he can do that. And it's sad because they're using it like a conveyor belt on liberal laws. They just kind of, oh, we want you to do this, we want you to do this. And then by then it's got to go to SCOTUS, it's got to be overturned, and this is a process. Things take time, and I'm sure there's probably this much paperwork sitting in front of SCOTUS right now, all from California, with all the lawsuits and everything else going on.
Right.
So it's a giant mess. It's a giant mess, and a lot of the Second Amendment stuff, SCOTUS won't even rule on, which is it's a mess. It's a mess.
Well, and you know, there's a couple of judges that Trump has put in there with being Gorsuch and Kavanaugh, and they've even gone against each other a couple times. So you know, he's not putting in there judges that are strictly conservative. I mean, he's had a couple of the judges that have ruled against, you know, what we would expect them to, but. And then Judge Roberts. Now he's I think he's the head of the Supreme Court, if I remember correctly. He has always been conservative, but this last year, he's voted liberal on certain different things, and that doesn't bode good. I mean, you know, it's like who's paying him? Is Ruth Bader Ginsburg bribing him to vote her way? I don't know. You know, and she's about dead, and I'm sure she's got a lot of money, you know, saved up, so she may have a war chest.
Oh, I'm sure. She's got gold piled up in her house.
Well, she's got medical. She definitely. I think she's spending most of that on medical appliances for her house.
Oh no, we're paying to keep her alive.
Probably.
Oh yeah. They got good health care. Being a Supreme Court judge, you know.
Well, I think that I think that there's a few things that we could stand our ground on, and some of them, I think we need to make a big push to have term limits in Congress. I mean, look at the idiots we have in Congress, and I'm not even talking just the liberal side. I mean, we have some real winners now on the conservative side in Congress. You've got and one guy that I really hoped would be better than what he has been, and he has spoken out really good in certain things, but the one-eyed patch dude came out for red flag laws, and I'm like, are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah, I heard
Dan
about
Crenshaw.
that. I heard about that. Yeah, Crenshaw. That's it. Yeah. I heard about that, and I think he lost about over half of his following by doing that.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, whenever when you're supposed to be the staple of conservatism and you've done a good job speaking out, and then you decide to stick your big freaking foot in your mouth, you deserve to lose half your damn following.
Exactly. Well, it goes to show you how their brain works. How easily that person is turned just by the simple fact of pure persuasion.
It makes me wonder if some of these people in Congress ever turn on the freaking TV.
Exactly.
It's like, what fucking world are you living in? What are you listening to? Are you listening to NPR? Or are you listening to CNN?
CNN.
I mean, it's pretty obvious that anybody in Congress should not be listening to any leftist news rags because.
Deborah. She says that Crenshaw did a huge backpedal to save his face.
Too late.
Yeah, it's too late. It's just too late. I mean,
well, he has to if he's going to get reelected. I mean,
well, no shit.
And he came from Texas.
You never change. You stay your ground. Stay your ground. It's kind of don't start trying to pussyfoot around and make people happy. Stand your ground and just be like, no, I ain't budging from here. But yeah, he did.
So I want to cover a couple of things that that stand your ground kind of encompasses, and there's so many different things that you can cover with it. You can cover the gun laws. You can cover the Second Amendment, the First Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, the 10th Amendment.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many different things in the Constitution that the stand your ground encompasses, and I think that we have to find a way to build that. And if writing letters to the White House don't seem to get any traction. I've written several, which has probably landed me on some kind of list somewhere, I'm sure. I did a thing that last year or 2 years ago where I wrote a letter and I I had a bunch of people copy it and send it in, and we all sent it to the White House and we sent it to Congress and the state houses. And I know for a fact that I would say probably between 5,000-6,000 of those letters went out. And oh yeah, it was a bunch. It was a bunch, and they were all identical, and we all put call signs on them, not our real names. Just basically blanketed the places, and then we put return addresses. So if it went somewhere and got turned down, it went to the next place. It didn't come back to come back to someone's house. But it's one of those things where we know that we're not going to be able to just speak directly to Trump. We're not going to be able to speak directly to Congress. Now that's the thing. That's one of the things that we need to rectify in the country. Is these people that are in Congress, they act like rock stars, right? You have no access to them.
Yep.
And by that, and I mean they're surrounded by bodyguards. You can't just approach them on the street. You can't go to their houses because they're all either living in gated communities. They have security guards, or in some cases they have Secret Service that are all over them every day that they are around. So how do you get their attention? And I think that the only thing that they're watching right now is shit like Twitter, stuff that happens on Facebook. They're watching the stuff that trends, and they're going off of that.
Yes.
And I don't know how many people in my friends are on any of the leftist Facebook pages, and they're following some of the trends on there. But it seems to me that Congress is leading by the trends that happen on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, places like that. They're not leading from realistic goals. They're leading from crap that's spouted on these social media websites. And some of the ideas are just completely fucking ludicrous.
Well, yeah, you could prove it because look at AOC. She was going for cow farts for a minute, and that kind of tells you that there isn't a real big cow fart problem in this country.
Well, but that's in the last 20 years, the talent pool for our politicians in Congress is getting. They're like in the kiddie pool right now. They haven't. It's not very deep. Yeah. And the four horsewomen of the Congress has proven that. I mean, you got squad. Omar and Talib and bartender chick.
You know what's funny is when you say their names, it totally reminds me of that saying when we were kids: "If you can't say the name, don't eat it."
Right. I don't know, man. It's maybe. I said something yesterday that kind of sunk in a little bit with me. I just happened to say it in passing, but we're in the process of trying to buy a house. And I'm 43 years old, and I can imagine this is the first house that I really attempted to buy. But, it's like, okay, I'm 43 years old. I figured it's time to grow some roots. And this is like my 5th trip, I think, to Alaska. And I worked up here like 2 years on and then left for a while, come back, and 2 years on, and same thing. And I'm literally willing to plant my feet, grow roots here, buy a house, which is like a life-changing event for me anyway. And it's like, okay, at 43 years old, I've just kind of hit adulthood. And I'm not shitting you, I mean, I don't have any kids, I got a stepdaughter, but it's not the same for people who have kids. So it's kind of like I've grown up since I moved here. And in fact, my boss is like, dude, you've like grown up a bunch since you left. I'm like, well, I don't feel like I've grown up any, but at the same time, I kind of wonder how the 18 and 25-year-olds feel. I realize that life is passing us by so fast, and it's time to make decisions that will, I guess will better my future. And I don't know if it's something that's going on across the country or if I'm kind of the sole person to do this, but buying a house is a big freaking deal for me. I mean, it really is. And imagine all the people that are our age 20 years from now. They're not even going to be prepared for this. I think what a lot of them are doing is they're waiting for their parents to pass on. They're going to get their house because there's no other way that they're going to be able to own property.
Not in California for sure.
Well, and in many other parts of the country as well. California is bad and it's expensive. Think about New York.
Yeah.
New York is worse. If you can even imagine that, New York is worse. You don't even pay for like square footage now, not like how we know. There you have to buy like airspace because most people live in fucking high rises and shit in New York.
Airspace. Huh?
I'm serious. I mean, it's I don't know, man. It's the country. I would have loved to have been around the country back in the 60s, the 50s. Back when, the parents, only one of them had a job. The other one stayed home raising the kids. Sure. I think, I was born at the tail end of that.
That's, well, me too.
And it sucks to, the hustle and bustle of everyday life has ruined the American way of life, I think.
Yes.
We can thank technology for that. We can thank a whole bunch of different things for that. But the growth of the country has definitely changed our social structure. And
yes,
the further down the road we go, the less we leave our homes. Now we have Amazon delivering crap to our houses. I mean, you can order anything off Amazon, dude. You can order a freaking car off there, dude.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean,
yeah. That's true.
I'm serious.
I
It's
think
like,
I think you can actually buy a fabricated house off there
yes, you
now.
can.
Yeah. Well, that's nice.
So, I think we have to think. We can't do things that we used to do. We can't go to rallies. We can't expect that that's going to make a huge, huge dent unless there's Hong Kong-sized people showing up. I'm not talking about them being little. I'm talking about the amount of them.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
we come over, we take
yeah.
over your country one nail salon at a time. We're gonna wreck your country. No, it's the thing that bothers me is you look over at Hong Kong and you look to see the pride in those people when they're going against their country, wanting to be our country, them not having a clue how bad it is in our country, and it's like they want what we had 40 years ago. That's what they're looking
Yeah,
at. They're looking at the Leave It to Beaver and the Brady Bunch. They're looking at that type of lifestyle. Well, that lifestyle's
yeah,
gone. We don't have it
yep.
now.
Well, since these politicians have already said that they specifically said they want our AR-15s, AK-47s, any kind of combat rifle. Um, so the next big push is going to be, yes, I'm prepared to kill Americans to take their guns, and that's going to be the next big push thrown out there. And um, I don't know if everybody's waiting for them to actually start enforcing and watching Americans die. I don't know. I hope not. But that's going to be the next push. They're going to make it abundantly clear because they've already come out and said what they want. Now it's just on how they're going to execute that. So
I still
that's what we're going to probably hear.
I still don't think that we're going to see cops coming to houses. And I think what's going to end up happening is they're going to do it through. There's so many other ways that they can do that, and one of them is by breaking you.
Well, yes, they can definitely try to break you. But I just watched. I posted it on my Facebook, or I put it on Stand Your Ground, the other page that we had. And it was a video of a cop. He got up there before, I think, Congress. And he was ex-military, he was a cop, and he said, so when you say we're coming for your guns, who's actually, or will you be coming with us to go take these guns? That's what the cop was saying. He said, are you going to lead us into these houses to go take their guns? And he had a real good point because most cops, they know that law-abiding citizens, we don't want to hurt anybody, but if you start poking the hornet's nest, things happen. And I think that's what the officer was trying to get at was, I don't know why you guys think that it's just, you're going to pass these laws, we're going to go enforce them. Now, I would hope that most constitutional officers that abide by the Constitution understand that, they have a choice. They could say no. They don't even have to weigh, doing something like this. They don't even have to put it on their shoulders. None of them have to enforce it. They could just laugh off Congress, and it'd be something that'll fall off, and Congress would wonder why it's not being enforced. And it would just be one of those things where the cops are really worried about criminals and not law-abiding gun owners.
Here's kind of how I see. Here's kind of how I see this is going to play out. And I've been giving this a lot of thought, and
so have I.
And the reason I think that this is going to happen like this is because, for one, I don't give a shit, who you are or what party you're with or whatever. I would hope that nobody would want to see another human being get killed, but
no, nobody wants to see anybody.
Here's what I think is going to happen. So, say you have an AR-15 and the government wants it. And this is down the road, of course. They want your gun. Okay, if the Democrats get back in power, or the ones that are spouting this nonsense end up getting into any kind of power, what's going to happen is they're going to pass a bill, and that bill is going to be basically saying, okay, these people have these guns. This is what we're going to do to go get them. And what they're going to do is they're going to put pressure on you. They're going to seize your bank accounts. They're going to talk to your places of employment. They're going to call you. They're going to there's going to be notices written and sent to you saying you've got 30 days to turn in your gun. If you don't, these are going to be the repercussions. It's going to be basically the same thing as you going to court for a traffic ticket, or that's what they're going to do. They're not going to physically come to and get your gun.
Let me ask you a question. So, doing such things would probably destroy somebody's life.
Absolutely. And in a quick manner.
All right. Well, wouldn't that drive a sane person to do insane things?
Well, I mean, I would agree with that. But then who does it fall on? I mean, you can say, yeah, these guys caused me undue stress, and this is what happened. But they're ultimately going to be saying, well, you own an AR-15. We asked for it back. You did something crazy. We're either going to kill you now, or you're going to go into a mental institution.
I solely believe that the people that want to get rid of our guns, I honestly believe they want it. They'd rather have us dead. We like guns, and we back Trump. I honestly believe they're looking for reasons to get rid of us. And I don't mean just stick us in a quiet corner. I mean get rid of us. Because we are everything they hate, everything they despise. We follow the Constitution. We want taxation with representation. You know, I mean, there's a bunch of stuff that just they're not willing to follow the rules because so many people are comfortable with it, and we're the group that stands up and says, no, we're not going to do it. And I think they would love to see us, toe tag.
Well, unfortunately, that may end up coming to that. I mean, I guarantee you that, if we do end up getting our house, I will have a reserve amount of stuff hidden back somewhere for a rainy day. Oh, you got really close.
Sorry.
I seen your nose.
Oh wait, no, that's you.
No, I seen your nose hairs.
Oh yeah, they're in there. I just trimmed them. Come on now. How did I
know. You lean forward close? And all of a sudden
I didn't touch it.
So I think this program, if you're in one place and you're not moving around a lot, it keeps you in frame, and then once you move around, it wigs out and says, "What the hell are you doing?"
I had to back up 4 feet to fit in there.
We'll get you back in there. We're getting you back in there.
There we go. Let me scoop
I just have to make some little adjustments there.
Okay.
It resized your picture.
We're good now. That's good.
There we go. Yeah. That's a little bit better. Well, I think we need to continue to keep pushing with Stand Your Ground.
Yes.
I mean, it kind of says everything. Yes. It kind of encompasses so much more than just one one thing. So, if you know anybody out there, make sure you come and you click on the likes on Stand Your Ground. And there's a lot of other groups out there that are unaware of it. And of course, Facebook, like any other thing, limits your reach. So, share around the Stand Your Ground hashtag, and let's get it trending.
I've been sharing the hell out of it.
Everything you post, and it doesn't matter how it's spelled, as long as it's got the phrase "Stand Your Ground" with the hashtag.
Yeah. Or
as long as it's hashtag Stand Your Ground, it doesn't matter if there's capitals or not.
Yeah.
Just hashtag Stand Your Ground, because what ends up happening is the internet people, or the internet has different algorithms that pick up on the phrase, and then it goes into a thing and it tabulates, and it just keeps building every time it's said. So make sure you share the hashtag Stand Your Ground. Anything that you post, if you're even posting something that you're doing for your day, at the end of it, put hashtag Stand Your Ground. Get it trending and get other people, saying what it is. And if anybody's got any questions,
I've been putting. I've been putting SYG.
Well, you can do that, but it's the thing. I mean, isn't that almost like Syracuse University or something?
No, it's Stand Your Ground.
Well, I mean, you can do that too. The problem is, though, unless you're spelling it out to start with, and there's going to be 90% of people going, "What the hell is SYG?"
No. I put it after
Okay.
Stand Your Ground, and kind of kind of simplify it on because I post so
You're
much
making an
stuff.
anagram.
So I wanted to kind of get it on. Yeah, I just wanted to be able to put SYG and everybody know what the hell I'm talking
No,
about.
I hear you. I hear you. That's a good idea. I think that if we get it trending, I think people start paying attention. But we got to get it trend.
Sure.
And if you're on any other platform, make sure you share it there too, because it encompasses all social media. So definitely share it as much as you can. I have been doing it on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Actually, I haven't done it on Instagram yet, but it's because I can't really post anything on there unless I post a picture. So if you got any memes, anything like that, make sure you send them to us. We'll get them up on the page. Make sure you go through and you like the page, stand your ground, and we need to get as much support as we can. I need to get more video bloggers involved with this, and I think that if we get under one umbrella, and I'm not saying you can't do other things, but we need to band together and start doing videos on these and start covering them, because unless we work together in that aspect, we're not going to be much.
Yeah, I mean, because you're either American or you're a Democrat. So, we need every single American.
Yep, stand your ground, folks. It's time to stand up. It's time to make it. We need to be noticed. I'm tired of seeing all this crap going on and us not having a voice.
Yes, we need to either. I mean, we need to have a voice either way, and it needs to resonate across
Absolutely.
the country. We have all these little voices. We got thousands of them, and they're all over the country, but they're not united under the same front. We need to be able to know that every single one of us, is ready to do what we need to do.
I think Stand Your Ground is part of the bigger picture. It's part of the bigger picture.
Yes.
It can combine your 3%ers. It can combine your Trumpers. It can combine your liberals. It can combine everybody, because it basically has one enemy in this whole situation, and that's the people who tell us what the hell we can do and what we can't do. So stand your ground.
Exactly.
You don't want to see something pass. Stand up and speak out. Stand your ground. So with that said, I think we're going to wrap up the show. We've been on for about an hour and 5 minutes. Ryan, I look forward to it's been fun. We're going to try and come up with some new topics to cover on Stand Your Ground for next week. Make sure you tune in. Make sure you tune in every Sunday night.
I will get a nice list going. I'll get a nice list.
All right, so start tuning in every Sunday night at 7 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Alaska time, and 10 p.m. Eastern time. And we'll be back on covering some more stuff, and we'll start having some guests on here soon. And that reminds me, on these other celebrity bloggers that you see, like a Mary King, John Burke, trying to think of who some of the other ones are. Stand your ground on their stuff too. Get them to start noticing, because those are the kind of people we need to spread the word as well. So make sure everything that you post, put Stand Your Ground, hashtag Stand Your Ground. And the thing is the more people see it, it's like a radio station. The more you see it, the more it becomes psychological and it gets in your head. So hashtag Stand Your Ground. Make sure you get it around. So I'm going to go ahead and send out the outro. This is Sherman Tank, and we got new stuff on the other side over there, and we're going to step out for the night. We love you guys. See you next week.
Love you.
Peace out.